This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy Nairn Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Ricky Morissette, Albert Lorenzo, Light Blinded Fool, and the Amaryllin Seat. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Jacket and Nathaniel Hyde to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We truly, truly appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 37 and 38 of A Crown of Swords.
Yeah, so chapter 37 is A Note from the Palace, and chapter 38 is 6 Stories.
Oh, I just got it.
Because the building.
The
6 stories in
the
Nynaeve
way you
and
just
Elaine.
said that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because they had the whole thing like,
Yep.
oh, how many stories is it?
I just got it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
They even have a thing about that in the chapter.
Well, I think I had to hear you say it out loud like that to get it.
Were you like counting the perspectives or like
Nope.
just, no? Okay, just nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. You know, that's why we do this, right?
Yeah, no, it is.
To really
it's
dig
fine.
into these chapter titles.
That's why we're here.
Convoluted.
Yeah.
Okay. But we did it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
We maybe did it.
Maybe.
I don't have any proof that we have done anything.
We've done
I have
the thing.
Somebody exclaiming that the thing is
The
done.
quest is over.
We will see.
I love it so much.
We will see.
Oh, it's good. It's a good one.
It's okay. So yeah, it's great. Now, I've set up some shots.
I do see that, and I'm nervous.
I'm wondering, because I have a pre-planned shot for us to take.
Okay.
For a Harry Potter reference.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if you can figure it out.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I, right now, have no idea, but maybe in the moment, maybe something will come to me?
Maybe.
Because right now, I have no idea, like, I don't even have a half a
Yeah,
clue.
I doubt you'll get it. But
Okay.
that's okay. You'll get it once I say it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll get it as well as you got the
okay.
chapter title.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, I did get it.
Eventually,
Yeah.
so. Okay, let me start us off, because as promised, the fun fact for today is about being married by a ship captain.
Yeah.
Because Abby on YouTube commented about the whole conversation, discussion we had.
That's what I said
Yes,
last time.
I know. And now we know for sure, in fact, they were married on the ship. I mean, okay.
A bit of a cliffhanger, but here we go.
It works. It works.
You know, I do have to say, I'm a little bit irked that I wasn't invited
to
the wedding.
We didn't see it.
We didn't get to see off-screen wedding.
There's like hints about what weird stuff happened.
Sounds interesting. Like, that's the stuff I want to see.
Nope. We get to see a ride in a coach,
Yeah.
amongst other things. So anyways, Abby on YouTube commented that her husband said that the reason ship captains can marry people dates back to naval warfare. They take the same oath as a judge, and the purpose is so they can pass quick judgment on offenses and quell mutiny quickly. Marrying people is just an added perk. Now, I don't know Abby's husband, so I couldn't just take his word for it. So I had to dig in a little bit. Yeah.
Fair.
I had to dig a little bit deeper, see if there's any other like crazy fun facts here. So this is what I could find on this topic.
Okay.
So there is a common belief that ship captains have historically been and currently are able to perform marriages, but that depends on a few things like the country of the registry. However, most do not permit performance of a marriage by the master of a ship at sea. Turns out not actually usually true. So, there's a lot of instances where the captain of the ship may allow or disallow a marriage to take place on the vessel, but doesn't actually perform the ceremony.
So you're telling me Pam and Jim getting married on the Maid of the Mist by the ship captain.
Probably very inaccurate.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it gets a little bit better too. So, in the U.S. at least, there's been contradictory legal instances where courts either did or did not recognize a ship board marriage. And in the U.S. Navy, ship captains are specifically not allowed to perform marriages. Kind of makes sense. If you're in the U.S. Navy, like, we should be doing other stuff with our time probably than getting married, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And in the UK, the captain of a merchant ship has never been permitted to perform marriages. But the shipmaster can conduct a church service, but not a marriage.
Okay.
Anyways, there's a few countries where they do let this happen. Like, Japan lets ship captains perform marriages at sea, but only for Japanese citizens. And some places like the Bahamas and Bermuda, as long as they're all registered. But some captains do obtain the proper credentials to be able to do this. So like becoming a minister of a religion or a notary public. So they can, but it's not inherent to them being a ship captain. It's because they got extra credentials.
Okay.
Okay. Now, just to wrap it up, just to play a little bit of defense here. Historically, ship captains had absolute authority pretty much over their vessels to do things like make arrests and jail people and to stop mutinies. They could also do things like create birth and death certificates, and they functioned as a notary for legal documents, and they were able to log weddings when they did occur, so then naturally just kind of became this assumed ability that they had was to perform marriages themselves.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Okay, so yes and no.
Yes and no. And depends.
And also
and sort of.
maybe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Check with your local ship captain before you try to get married.
Right.
Yeah. That's the best way to do that one.
Uh-huh. And did you look up the pilot thing?
Yeah, also sort of applies.
Really?
Yeah.
I really didn't think so.
Okay.
I was just making things up.
Yeah, no, also maybe kind of it's like the same thing as ship captain.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. There we go.
Should ask your brother.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a pilot.
Yeah, you know.
He might know.
Maybe.
He would think we're stupid. He would call us idiots.
First, we need to get him to listen to the Wheel of Time or read the Wheel of Time.
I don't think we need to do either of those things.
He needs backstory to understand what we're really
doing. No, he
doing.
does not.
Okay.
He does not need backstory
Okay.
for this question. All right. So, last time we were here, we went into the woods.
Right.
We found Maureen's cousin and Paddington.
Yes, we did.
And some other bad guy assholes and some medium, maybe bad guys.
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
Uh-huh. There were also blades.
Sure.
It wasn't great.
Nope.
And then a scary murderous fog descended and was very murdery.
Uh-huh.
And everyone tried to heal Rand after he was hurt.
Stabbed.
Not by the murderous fog.
Stabbed by a blade.
By a blade.
Over top of the other wound.
Which was hit by pretend blades.
Not blade, staff.
Yes.
The Shamael staff.
No, I'm talking about the guy's practice
Toram,
sword whacking it.
Okay, that one too.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened to Rand. Okay,
yeah, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, we don't get anything for that, so.
Not at all. Not here, anyway.
Okay.
We also got Matt. Now, last time we saw him, not in the last 2 chapters, but the last time we saw Matt, he was being sexually assaulted and dealing with the repercussions of that.
Okay.
Nynaeve was almost killed by Moghedien. Lan showed up and saved her, and now they want to get married.
Okay.
Elaine got her comeuppance with the kin.
Yeah.
And then we discovered the location of the Cloud Bowl, so let's go.
Okay, let's go get it.
Are you laughing at the married?
Yeah, I am still. That was good.
Marriage is what brings us together. No? No
Never
Princess
gets
Bride?
old. Never gets old.
Okay, fine. Let's move on. Chapter 37. A note from the palace.
Right.
And we have the 5 dice.
Yeah. I was thinking, okay, no, you can't do the Princess Bride thing and then just, like, skip over last chapter with blades, because Rand could have totally done, like, a I'm fighting with my left hand thing.
Yeah.
There were so many opportunities.
There was a lot of opportunity for that.
You missed all of them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, maybe in the future. There's still more books. We'll work it in somewhere. Anyways.
You know what? I think, yes.
Yeah, we can. I just couldn't stop thinking about that. I
can see that. Because he definitely was trying to do a little bit of a hustle.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the ultimate way to hustle.
Sorry, I couldn't get past that in my brain without saying it, and I just would have not paid attention
at all. We are all happy that you did.
You're welcome. Okay, now we can start officially.
Okay, so we enter in a Matt perspective. It's the day after the Festival of the Birds. Festival of Birds? Birds. Festival of Birds, and Matt is heading through the palace. He's on his way out. He's super on edge, jumping at every sound. The servants are looking at him some kind of way because they all know what's happening and think it's funny.
Yep.
So he tugs his hat over his face a little bit, and he has his spear with him, which has a name.
It has a name. The Ashendarai.
And who told him that? Brigida?
Brigida did, yeah.
Ashendarai.
Yeah, full of information. Thank you. It's good.
Okay, cool. So now the dice are still tumbling in his head, and he is on edge because of Tylan.
Yes, because...
Understandably.
Yeah, what happened last night.
Ugh.
Leading
it's
into...
just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it just like... It
keeps going.
Yep.
It keeps going, and it doesn't get any better, and it's awful.
We need to get out of Abu Dar.
We certainly do.
Which sounds at the end, like, I don't want to...
Someone needs to murder Tylan. That's what needs to happen here.
Yeah, okay. Right. And leave Abu Dar, or just, like, one or the other?
Just, like, stab her with her own marriage knife.
Both?
What? Oh, I'm angry.
No. Oh, no.
I'm angry, and I don't like her.
And it's gonna get worse.
No, that's what I'm saying. Oh, it's gonna get worse from here?
Well, I mean, it's not getting better.
It makes me mad.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's move forward. Let's push through.
It makes me upset.
Yeah, I noticed that
For
when
Matt,
you said someone should murder her.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should Matt be the one to murder her?
No.
Avienda.
Yes.
There we go.
Good.
She hasn't murdered anyone in, like, a long time.
So long.
So, come on.
Yeah.
You could probably be convinced.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah.
Or Matt. Matt could do it.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I honestly just... It's just awful.
Okay.
I just can't stand it.
Yeah.
So now there are 6 coaches waiting in a line already outside.
Yes.
A bunch of people are already here, and
Almost everybody.
most of Matt's men are tired or sleeping while they wait.
Because it's the day after the Festival of Birds.
They're all tired. They want to
Yeah.
be sleeping. They had
Hungover.
fun.
Yep.
Matt didn't go. I'm surprised he didn't just go, like, stay out all night.
Yeah.
Like, how... Like, you think he would have tried to avoid the palace altogether?
Yeah. I mean, there's things, I guess.
Yeah. He didn't. He didn't avoid the palace.
No. He stayed out probably as late as he could, but I mean...
Yeah. All right, so Elaine is here with Rihanna and 7 more of the kin women.
Yes, a whole bunch.
And they're all wise women with red belts.
Yes.
So now none of the Aes Sedai are here because Elaine is explaining that they'll attract less attention without women who are recognizable as Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not exactly true because wandering around with 7 wise women is sure to attract attention.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The attention tracking is one thing, but this plan was made by people who don't understand Abu Dar custom, and we get from Beslan immediately saying there's going to be no fun because there's 7 wise women, so nobody's going to do anything.
No one's going to do anything, but if the idea is to lay low...
But that's the thing. This plan, again, was made by people who don't understand Abu Dar custom.
I know, I'm
They
just
don't get
shaking
it.
my head.
I know. It's like maybe you should have consulted people who get Abu Dar.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, is this going to attract attention? Yes.
Yes.
Lots.
Tons. Now, the kin also seem pretty flustered, and Rihanna asks, but why does Merlelli think we're lying?
Yeah.
So they're all kind of confused. I guess they had like a full day of kind of talking and figuring some things out.
Yeah, there was enough time spent with Aes Sedai to basically... all the Aes Sedai called all the kinswomen liars about their ages and probably all the other stuff, their numbers of people.
Yes.
Because they're like, there's so many, it's just not even possible. It doesn't make sense.
So that's what they're talking about, and Matt doesn't care.
Yeah, did you catch the little tidbit, the little line that was snuck in there by RJ? Elaine has a small belt knife, and so do the other wise women, and Matt thinks, what woman needs a weapon when she can channel?
Yeah.
It's just like a little hint before we clearly get into a situation where it's like, oh,
channeling was useless.
maybe channeling isn't always the answer.
Uh-huh.
So, thanks, RJ.
Okay. So now Matt looks up at the palace and doesn't think that Tylan is up there watching him because he was very careful not to wake her up while he was getting dressed this morning.
Yeah, so we
And
learned.
then that's when we learned that he had to have an unfortunate sleepover that he was not consenting to.
Yes, again, so there we go. Because apparently last night a half dozen servants dragged him into her apartments.
Yes.
So maybe he thought he didn't need to stay out and was going to sleep somewhere, but then got dragged into it.
He did. He got dragged in there.
Yeah, so again, it's bad.
And then Elaine continues her conversation with the kin and says it's your ages, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. And we also get the name for them is the knitting circle.
That's the inner circle of the kin, is the knitting circle. It's the group of friends that only hangs out sometimes.
And knits.
And knits. That's all they do.
Uh-huh.
It's all coincidence.
Okay.
So getting the bowl should be pretty easy. Let's do this.
Okay. So now there's more conversation, and it turns out that Tom and Julian are off with Avienda and Brigida watching Carradine's place, and Nynaeve will be here soon.
Yeah.
But Matt is like,
no!
Nobody needs to be watching Carradine's place anymore.
Yeah, like, that's not the job here, guys.
That doesn't matter.
We get the bowl, we leave. We leave after we get the bowl.
Yes.
Step 1, step 2. It's really easy.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then we leave.
Yes.
Leave Abu Dar.
Then we don't need to deal with Carradine. He's like, not our deal, not our problem.
Yes. And Elaine says, well, we can't leave Abu Dar until the bowl is used. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
You literally can make a gateway and travel.
And to be fair, in Elaine and Nynaeve's defense, they don't need to leave they're not in a rush to leave Abu Dar. They aren't running away from anything. Matt is, so he's like, let's get out. But they really don't have anything better to do or anywhere better to go.
Really? They need to go meet up with Egwene, I bet.
Not
Elaine
before they
probably
use the bowl.
should get to Camelin.
Not before they use the bowl, though. So, like, I kind of get where they're coming from on that.
I know. But, so they're like, well, it might take a long time for us to figure out even how to use the bowl. Or, like, do anything with it. So we might as well try to settle Caradan at the same time. And I think settle Caradan by watching his house. Like, what are you talking about? What's the plan here?
Terrible plan.
This is so dumb.
Terrible plan.
You know who should be here? Your warder, Elaine.
Right.
And also the warrior woman.
Right.
The Aiel warrior woman.
Bring those people. So.
Gosh.
I know. It's just like a perfect storm of terribleness.
You know.
I know. I know there's more. I know there's more.
These women.
Let's get further, because like this is a short chapter.
You know what's funny is while I was reading this, none of this actually registered for me. I didn't think about it as in depth.
Yeah.
And I'm getting so frustrated right now with
feel
Elaine and Nynaeve for this dumb plan.
Yeah. It's bad. It's
almost like they deserve to be ambushed.
Is it their worst plan? No.
Is it the same as all their other plans?
It might be that. Yeah.
Ugh.
You know, we got more rooms to more
rooms?
more books to develop their plan making skills. Hopefully.
The problem is I don't even think that they're very reflective, and they don't understand that they need to revise their plan.
No, they're like, we found the bowl. It was good. It went well.
Right. I mean, like, there's always gonna be trouble.
Some people are gonna die. It's just like, what's gonna happen?
Okay. Now, a servant from the palace comes up to Matt and hands him a basket and is like, this is from Queen Tylin. You didn't have breakfast and you need to keep up your strength.
Yeah.
And Elaine sees this and is like, oh, well, if you want to just stay here and have breakfast with the queen, you can. Like, you don't even have to come.
Yeah, they really don't want Matt to come. And if Matt wasn't here, it would have been way worse.
Way worse.
Way worse.
Yep. And it just goes on and on. It's just terrible.
Yeah, Matt hates it, and he just like goes and gets in one of the coaches. So it's like we can get going here.
Yes,
but
before Matt can get into a coach, Bessling comes up.
Of course.
Because he's coming too for some reason.
Best friends.
For funsies.
He's got nothing to do.
Why isn't he sleeping in? Why is he here? What is happening?
This is a frat bro. He's good to go.
I don't get it.
There's gonna be fun. Let's go find some fun.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And Nelisian makes a comment about not getting much sleep.
And?
Because the sea folk women are here and they are enticing to look at.
Yeah, they are. They're a lot of fun, maybe.
I don't know about fun. They mostly talk about, they like looking at them. And I'm like, everything that's happening in this chapter is problematic.
Yes.
It's a very short chapter and I don't like any of it.
Sure.
Now, apparently Nynaeve came back last night with a dozen of the sea folk after that meeting.
More than that, yeah.
So she made it to the sea folk ship. This is where we get confirmation of that.
Yeah.
Came back to the palace with sea folk. Got them off the ship.
Of Windfinders.
They're in the palace.
Yes.
So, Nynaeve finally strolls up here, but not alone.
Yeah, because Lan's here.
Lan is here, and Matt is shocked.
Yeah, because it's like, hey...
And he's very confused because Nynaeve is clinging to Lan looking all moon-eyed.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing of everyone like getting into the coaches. And then Matt asks Lan where he came from and what he's doing here.
Yeah, and like that whole story, because like, what?
Yes.
And it seems like, most stuff is filled in here. And Lan also tells him that they were married last night by the Mistress of Ships.
That's right.
So, yeah, cool.
Matt thinks Lan is definitely crazy to marry Nynaeve.
Because she's also crazy, and that kind of makes sense, too.
And several times this chapter, Matt thinks that Lan has a blank, dead stare.
Yeah. And he doesn't understand it, but yeah, that's definitely repeated.
Yes.
And this is also where we start getting Lan talking about how the sea folk have several unusual marriage customs that were surprises for both him and Nynaeve.
Yeah, and apparently mandatory, even in private. We get that later.
So like sprinkled in there, this big question mark, what are these?
Ooh, sounds like fun.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, Lan changes the subject and tells Matt that there's something more important that he must know. Nynaeve doesn't want him to know, but he needs to hear it. And then Lan tells him about his 2 men being dead, and it's an attack by Moghedien.
Yeah.
Nynaeve thinks Moghedien is gone now, otherwise she would have tried again, but Lan's not so sure of that.
Okay, so Nynaeve specifically did not tell Matt, and it seems like she wasn't going to.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah,
Nuh-uh.
so...
She's doing the mothering thing where she's like, need to know basis.
But it's like, those are his men.
Uh-huh.
At some point, he'd be like, where are the men that I sent with you?
Yes.
Probably once he...
Well, then this causes a pretty big argument between Nynaeve and Lan that carries on for a while.
Yeah. For the record, whose side are you on in this one?
Lan.
Okay.
I'm
Tell.
always Team Tell.
Okay.
Have you seen my wine glass?
Oh, yes, I have. That's the one that was given to us.
Team Tell Maureen.
There you go.
But also just Team Tell.
Yes.
Team Communication. That's actually my team. Team Open Communication. Open and honest.
Share things.
Supportive listening.
You know what I also love? That in this initial argument, because Matt is understandably upset. He's like, ugh, these blasted women, Elaine and Nynaeve, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. And then Lan's like, that's my wife. Yeah. And then Matt's like, that Elaine?
Yeah.
He's like, gonna leave Nynaeve out of this one.
It does happen. Very protective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Right, this large dead in the eyes looking warder guy.
And it's Lan. Yeah,
so.
yeah. And then Beslin's like, ooh, Forsaken. This sounds fun. But
yes.
Nalisian, he says, this actually sounds terrible.
Yeah. And, I mean, this is really sad. We gotta talk about everything that Nalisian says and does.
We gotta pour one out for this guy later.
We're gonna have to pour one out later, so...
Yikes.
I like him. I liked him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah.
We've been with him for a long time.
I know. Okay. So, Matt still has this basket from Thailand, and he thinks, yeah, I'm actually pretty hungry. Maybe I'll eat some of this. But then Beslin says, go read the note. Are you going to read the note from my mom? There's a note there.
He's still assuming that this is a good thing. Have you seen
there's a note?
Yeah.
So Matt opens it up. The note basically says that Thailand's having Matt's things moved to her apartments, and one of the serving ladies is staying with Oliver, and Thailand...
The incredible bosomed one.
Yes, the good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Thailand asks, who is the daughter of the 9 moons I made you think of?
Right.
And this is all terrible.
Yeah. It's all bad.
Which is interesting, because that's not something I even thought of. I was never like, oh, maybe Thailand's the daughter of 9 moons. Like, I never thought that as a speculation for, like, somebody who's, like, literally entrapping...
Okay. Well,
Matt?
So Matt doesn't know who it is, and I mean, it could possibly be, because he's just destined to marry the daughter of the 9 moons.
That's true, but I thought maybe if he's, like, ends up forced to marry Thailand, like, maybe she has that title or something that we haven't heard yet.
Okay. But, I mean, we're pretty sure, like...
It's Shan Chen.
Yeah, we're pretty
No,
we're
I
pretty
know that.
confident
I'm
there.
just saying, I never made a connection or a prediction about this, and the fact that he, like, asks about it.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, I'm just saying,
No, and that's cool. I mean, Matt's asked other women, too.
That's true. All
like
of them.
random
all
women.
the women.
Yeah.
Any woman he talks to, I can't get into anything with you.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your title?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is all just terrible. I feel for Matt. This is bad.
He'd rather face Moghedien than Thailand.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he's got a foxy. He has some protection. He's got no protection against Thailand.
That's true. Unless he can find a way to make everyone leave Abu Dar tonight, everyone is going to find out about him and Thailand, and he's afraid he's going to start crying again.
Yeah, and it's like at the very end of this, it seems like a hypothetical that we could be leaving Abu Dar.
I would like it if
it
we
seems
did.
like that's the direction it's headed. We can talk about it when we get there.
I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
With all of it.
Time to leave.
Time to leave.
Time to leave.
And with that, that's the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's jump right into chapter 38. 6 stories.
Yes.
I get it now.
Oh, yes.
I got it. And the chapter symbol, 2 faces, a black and a white. And this one is the dark friend symbol.
This is the dark friend symbol.
This is no confusion here, okay?
Yeah. And I mean, more specifically, also, we see this one a lot with Black Aja. Like, a lot. So.
Okay. And sometimes with just dark friends.
Yeah, because this isn't like a, hard and fast line drawing
no,
about what
it's
chapter
not.
symbols
It's
represent.
like, hey, there's bad guys posing as good guys.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this symbolizes, I think.
Sure.
Okay, so we are still basically in the same moment. We continue with our Matt perspective. These couple chapters have gone well together. Like the last 2 chapters
Yes.
we did
Yeah.
was 2 Rand back to
Flowed
back.
super
Or
well.
Min back to back, I mean, with Rand.
Yeah.
And then these 2 Matt back to back.
Just you wait.
Yeah. Remember, I was like, oh, there's going to be lots of perspective switching. Not yet.
No.
Not this time.
Yeah, I can't wait because we are so close to the end of the book.
We're getting there, aren't we?
It's like, oh my goodness.
Okay, so now everyone is in the coaches. They're heading to the docks so that they can get a boat to cross the river to the Rahad.
Yeah.
Now, Matt is wishing that they'd go faster, but the streets are busy since everyone is back to work from the festival last night.
And there's a whole thing, because it's like, oh, and another
God,
night
there's
there's going to
so
be another
many
one, and then
festivals.
like 2 days after that. And so they got to work during the daytime because they're going to be partying at nighttime. So
Got it.
it's a whole funny thing.
All right, so then they finally make it to the river. Matt storms over to Nynaeve and Elaine to give them a piece of his mind for
To
not...
give Elaine a piece of his mind because, like, you know,
Oh,
Lan.
yeah, don't yell at Nynaeve in front of
Right.
Lan. We got it. Okay, but basically for not telling him about Mulgideon and that 2 of his men died.
Yes, I mean, that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Yeah. So now Matt interrupts a conversation between the women, and this is when they're talking about how, like, the sea folk demand...
Something in private, and last night was...
Glorious.
Okay. And then Nynaeve's like, oh, Lan, it's not what you think.
I'm sorry that I was talking about our sex life to our friend.
It's like, no.
And Lan's like, it's fine. He doesn't really seem to care.
Yeah. It seems, again,
He's
like
like,
that...
you're allowed to talk about whatever you want in public.
I guess so. Is that one of the...
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems like there's weird seafolk customs at play here.
Oh, well, that for sure.
And I'm not sure. So, okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then Matt's even more confused because Nynaeve's apologizing, and Nynaeve doesn't apologize.
To anybody,
Yeah,
ever.
to any. Yeah, so, like, she might be sick.
Yeah. All right, so now that it's just Matt and Elaine, he gets ready to lay into her, but she pokes him in the chest first and says, Rihanna, explain to us what those red flowers on that basket mean, mister.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Matt's face goes red, and, oh, I, like, cringe.
Oh, yeah, I hate it. It's terrible.
This is so bad.
Now, okay. Luckily, or fortunately, it does seem like Elaine changes her attitude
By the end.
in, like, a page or 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, like, pretty quick. So, like, really bad first reaction.
This is terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
It just keeps getting worse. Like, I really didn't think that it could get worse than the actual, like, act.
Yeah, but it's like all the aftermath makes it worse.
So much worse.
Yeah.
So she's like, I can't believe it. Any promise I made to you is done. I will not keep any promise to a man who would force his intentions on a woman, any woman, especially the queen. And then Matt loses it. He shouts, me force my intentions on her. And then Matt goes off explaining exactly what Tylan is actually doing to him.
Like more than he wanted to tell, too.
And tells Elaine that she has it backwards. And then I was like, good. Yes.
Yeah, tell them.
Tell them what's happening to you because this is awful. And then Elaine starts to say, oh, I had it wrong. And I thought, oh, good.
Yes.
She's starting to understand.
And then it gets...
And then she basically laughs at Matt and mocks him and then leaves and hears her say something about a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah.
And it's like, no?
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, this is the thing. I've always said Wheel of Time isn't a story of what you want people to do. It's like what people actually do in real life.
Still doesn't make me comfortable.
No, and it's not supposed to. I think that's kind of the point, too. It's like it is supposed to make you uncomfortable about the situation and then recognize, like, oh, this is really terrible.
Yes.
And this really happens, really. So...
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt's pretty angry and frustrated and thinks that he should have known better than to expect sympathy, but then he decides that he's made promises and he has to keep them. So he catches back up to Elaine, takes off his silver foxhead medallion and says, you and Nynaeve have to decide who will wear this. You know, you'll go back and forth, but I want it back when we leave Abu Dar. Basically, to protect them from Mulgideon attacking.
Yeah, because, I mean, he reasons out that if she's going to attack again, she's going to attack them first, which makes sense because they're the powerful channelers, so, like, take them out first.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even after laughing at him, like, good for Matt for, I don't know, like, ignoring that and doing his duty.
See, this seems to me like a classic Matt move, where he thinks to himself about how angry and pissed off he is, but then his actions are always so
like heroic,
just and decent and good.
He's that uncle who runs into the burning building to save the children.
He's just a decent, good person.
Yeah.
And I know his thoughts are always different than his actions.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why people can't really stand him, because he's like annoying and whatever. But man, you cannot say that he is not there for who he's there for.
Oh, for sure. That's why he's my boy.
Yeah. And then he explains that he knows about Moghedien and how dare they keep that secret from him, and his men are dead. And if Moghedien attacks then, she's going to go after one of them first. So, Elaine is seriously in shock, and she's like, do you have any idea what I would have done to study this? But classy move on Elaine's part.
Yeah, for giving it back.
She doesn't keep it just to study it.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Or just to even have it as protection.
Yeah.
But I mean, her mentality towards not having
it's stupid.
It's because, if we don't have one for all of us, then nobody gets one.
Yeah, I would need Nynaeve and Aviendha to also have the same protection.
Yeah. So here's what we do. We take the fox head, we smash it into pieces, and everybody gets a piece.
Sure.
Right? Right?
Good thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Not so much.
Okay.
Anyway, then she says, you can't keep your promises if Moghedien kills you. And then this is where she has a little bit of a change of heart, and she apologizes for laughing at Matt about his situation with Tylan, and says that she'll make sure Nynaeve understands the situation too, and maybe they can help him.
Yeah, so like slightly better secondary reaction.
But then there's a super weird paragraph that I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
I've read it through so many times.
Okay.
I've read it over and over and over, and I'm trying to figure out. So, Matt swears a whole bunch. He hates this situation.
Oh.
Elaine is slightly confused and then says, I understand. And then Matt is like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why do you look like you don't understand then? And then that's it. That's all, the whole exchange. So I'm trying to figure out, because people have pointed out to me that Matt swears differently in the Old Tongue than he does typically. So my initial gut reaction is, did he just emotionally kind of like yell out a bunch of swears in the Old Tongue, and then Elaine stops because she understood him speaking in the Old Tongue, and she sort of like says what he said?
Yeah.
Like her mouth works silently, and then she goes like ... I understand.
So here's a funny little like side plot that's been happening with Elaine too, is Elaine has been cataloging swears and curses because when she first left Camelin, she didn't know how to like swear properly because she had no exposure.
Okay.
And she's been like cataloging and practicing swearing.
Okay.
And Matt is like giving her a whole bunch of new ammunition on how to swear. So it's possible that she's like muttering it to herself to remember it so that she can remember how to do all these fun new swear words.
Okay.
It's like a weird thing we can watch. I can point it out more, but it's like
and like later on in this chapter, Matt notes that she swears.
Yeah.
Later.
It's like someone who's never said the F word finally learns it and is like, how do I apply this?
Yeah, okay. I thought it was deeper than that.
It could be.
Because I thought that was like Matt doing an Old Tongue thing and then Elaine understanding the Old Tongue.
And you know what? It very well could be that too, but there's also the Elaine learning swears thing that's happening.
Okay.
There's definitely at least one, maybe both things happening there.
Okay, I thought it was deeper than that.
That's pretty deep. Come on, that's pretty funny.
That's not deep at all. But it's like, it's funny, but it's not like plot relevant.
Yeah.
But like Elaine understanding the Old Tongue is plot relevant.
Okay, sure.
It could lead to more things.
I mean, she's a noble. She should know some of the Old Tongue.
No, but like, to understand that Matt is speaking the Old Tongue, I don't know, it seems a lot more plot relevant than her learning some swears.
Sure.
That's all. Alright, so now that that's all done, the crew gets on 2 different boats. They all head off across the river. Nynaeve starts throwing up over the side of the other boat, and Matt talks to Veslin about the weather.
Yeah.
That's that whole scene.
The storm's coming, but not that type of storm.
Right. And so as they reach the Rahad, Matt and Beslin have a conversation about having issues getting through the city. And this is what we were talking about. Because there's going to be no fun.
Yeah.
Because there's 7 wise women, so no one's going to bother them.
So that's the thing. The group doesn't want any fun or action, but they also didn't realize that having 7 wise women would do, like, exactly what they sort of want in not having trouble, but also attracting a lot of attention.
They don't want trouble, but they attracted a shit ton of attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They want neither, but they're getting, well, both, I guess.
It's why they're immediately tracked down and found.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, there's that. Now we have 3 pages of them walking and nobody bothering them.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun
and
little
the Rahad
stuff.
is kind of gross.
I do like the little side bit where it's like people not only like won't bother them, they're like, hey, why is there 7 wise women here? Like, is someone causing trouble? Because you guys don't need to worry. Like, we can go take care of it. Just tell us where they are.
People offering them cups of water.
Yeah.
People like, yeah.
We'll break some kneecaps for you if you want. Like,
yes.
You don't have to do this yourself.
Yeah. All right, so finally they get to the building.
Pause. One little side note.
What?
People in the Rahad are flinching away from Lan, like the tough people, but also Vannon.
Vannon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Big fat horse thief guy.
Yeah, no, I know who Vannon is. Spy guy.
Yeah, same danger level in a sense.
Well, doesn't he have a sword?
There's lots of people with swords here.
Okay, and it's...
Matt has a bunch of his red arms here who are all armed.
Okay.
But Vannon specifically is getting the same treatment as Lan of like people flinching away.
Vannon wants to protect Elaine.
Okay.
He has an affinity.
Okay.
And he cares about protecting her.
So he's looking extra tough?
Yeah, like
Okay.
a warder perhaps.
Okay, excellent.
Ish.
Love it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. I just need to point it out.
Okay, so now they get to the building where the storeroom is.
Yeah.
And Elaine says 6. And then Eve sighs and says 6. And this is a callback to last book.
Yeah, Lord of Chaos. Nynaeve thought it was 5 stories. Elaine thought it was 6.
And so they were looking in more buildings than they needed to be looking in.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Matt doesn't understand why that matters.
Yep, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then Nelisian comments on being tired, and Matt says, what, do you want to die in bed?
Yeah.
Which is also very sad, because if Matt had to just let him sleep today,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad, but it's like part of the duty here.
Ugh, I guess so. Yeah.
It's sad. You know, I did find interesting, after all of this, I feel like more named characters died here than in all of Dumai's Wells.
I mean, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's how I felt. Like, more people I cared about.
Sure.
Mostly Nelisian. And then that's about it.
Yeah, okay.
But potentially others. Like, I thought Vannon was dying too. Like, I thought...
It seemed like it. There was a lot of people who seemed like they were going to die.
Yeah. I never felt, like, this sense of, like, oh my god, what's happening? Who's gonna go? Like, what's going on? I didn't feel that sense, even in Dumai's Wells, as I did here.
It's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost like Dumai's Wells, like, we saw coming, and it was a whole lead-up.
There was a big build-up.
And this was, like, a surprise.
Yeah. Surprise attacks always get you.
Maybe.
Okay.
So, now, we also get that this is where Matt came yesterday when he followed the woman.
Yeah,
and then
he did.
he like went back and was like, hey, I found this place, whatever. And so Matt didn't take the time yesterday to search the building entirely, so he orders some of his men to go see if there's a back door to this place and guard it. Nynaeve tells him there's no need because nobody's gonna cause us trouble.
Of course, another tidbit. Come on.
And then Matt does it anyway. So Elaine gets tired of Matt and Nynaeve arguing, so she heads up the stairs and says, I'm gonna go find this thing. And Vannon goes with her.
Yeah, he sprints up after her. So, like, warder style.
With most of the wise women.
Yes, that's true.
And
All
now,
except, I think, 2 stay.
Yeah, and so now Matt is stuck here with Nynaeve and Lan, and they start arguing because now Nynaeve knows that Lan told Matt about the Mogedian thing, and Lan's firmly on the side of he needs to know.
Because Matt made the comment, oh, maybe Mogedian likes back doors.
Yes.
That's why I'm going to go check it, jerk.
Yes. And so Nynaeve tries to say that she would have told him when she was ready to.
Yeah, it's like, when is that even, though? Come on.
Mm-hmm. And so now Matt's done with them arguing and says they should head upstairs to get the bowl.
Oh, man.
And a woman from the front door says, a marvelous idea. Should we go up together and surprise Elaine?
Yeah, this is such a good scene too, because especially they also don't know, like, our two Black Aja sisters, surprise, surprise, they also don't know what's happening right now.
No, they do not. They think that Nynaeve and Elaine have, like, hired some guards.
Yeah, they just like a bunch of thugs or street toughs to come and protect him or whatever.
Yeah.
So once they shield Nynaeve, they think
done.
they're good. They think they got him.
Yeah, but, like, if I have someone hired to protect me, don't you think that they're gonna try to...
No, because coin only goes so far with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in front of Aes Sedai, like, that's huge. They're probably just going to say, yeah, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's definitely what these Black Aja think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because these two Aes Sedai also have about 24 men crowding in behind them. And I keep thinking, like, how big is this room? Like, where are they?
It's an apartment building.
I know, and I was trying so hard to picture, like, what is happening, like, what is going on and where they are. Yeah. And I'm just not that great at visualizing these fight scenes.
Oh, well, and it's just, like, in my mind, it's, like, it's an apartment building, and they're just, like, in the big foyer of the apartment building. In, like, a lobby. In, like, a lobby. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And Matt sent some people down the hall to the back door to figure that out. Elaine went up the stairs, and now they're just, like, there's, like, 30 or 40 people in the front lobby.
It gets pretty chaotic pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But Matt's foxhead goes cold, and he knows that there's channeling happening here. The wise women go super meek because these are Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
But then Nynaeve says they're Black Aja, Valian, and Ispan.
Jeez, what a time for them to show up.
They've committed murder in the tower and done worse since they're dark friends and have me shielded.
Crazy. This is such a good entrance, too. Like, for so long now, we've been watching these two.
Yeah.
Like, just shamble around Abu Dar doing
Seriously.
nothing. And now they show up.
Because these are the ones who are like, we'll find Nynaeve and Elaine for Moghedien.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're like, one of them was like, Moghedien's gone.
Yeah.
But I guess they've heard from her since.
I suppose it seems like that because Moghedien...
They have information, yeah.
Well, she bail-fired the ship and was like, I'm going to make Valian and Ispen crawl.
Right.
So it seems like that is literally happening right now.
Okay.
So the timing on this is just, like, impeccable.
Yes. Now... Ispen and Valian pretend that this is a bunch of lies and that they've come from the White Tower, and Nynaeve and her friends are just a bunch of rebels. And then Matt realizes that these sisters actually don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Valian tries to do some, like, taunting to Nynaeve about how someone will be happy to see her when they take her back because she thinks Nynaeve is dead.
Yeah, so clearly they're at least planning to bring her back to Moghedien.
Right, because Moghedien thinks Nynaeve is dead.
Yes, that is happening, yeah. So it is interesting. So it seems like they might be here then for the bowl.
Yeah.
Like, possibly, because that's also part of their plan is, like, find the storeroom.
That's true. And now at this point, they try to, like, dismiss Matt. They're like, you guys can go now.
Yeah.
But then Lan springs into action.
I love this because he's been in a fight with Forsaken before, and he knows that he doesn't have time to draw the sword.
Nope.
It's so good.
He hurls his body at them, crashes into them, and knocks them down.
And it freaking works.
And that sets everyone into action.
It works. It works 100%.
Yep.
The concentration on the Black Aja holding that shield over Nynaeve, like, lets her break free.
Yes.
So his plan of throw my body at them... It worked.
It works. And so Lan starts to push himself up, and one of the Dark Friends goes to smash him, but then Matt stabs the guy. Nalisian and Beslin and the rest of Matt's crew jump in, into the fight.
Yeah, because they have like a dozen or so, or whatever it is.
I don't know.
It's like 12 to like 20 red
whatever.
arms are here, so.
Yep. And now Nynaeve and the Black Sisters have some space open around them, and it seems like Nynaeve isn't shielded anymore because... they're clearly doing something.
Yeah, and then
like
the useless
in some kind of
ones.
like fight.
Well, yeah, she's clearly like fighting the two Black Aja for shielding control.
Right.
And we do get that they're linked.
Oh yeah, the two Black Aja are linked.
Yes.
Because the two wise women are huddling in the corner and Nynaeve snaps at them to fight back, but they don't want to fight back because it's Aes Sedai.
And it's like, they're Black Aja. They're gonna murder everybody.
If you don't fight, we're gonna die.
Like, come on.
And then there's a scream from upstairs, And Nynaeve says, there's channeling upstairs, there's trouble. Matt hesitates, but then he reluctantly pulls himself from the fight and sprints up the 6 flights of stairs. He bursts open on the top floor, and there's a scene from A Nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is like a great beginning of a scene, and then Matt goes upstairs thinking, if she's just seen a rat, I'm going to be angry.
I know. Well, that's always the Matt inner monologue.
Yeah, it is.
It's always the downplay. It's always the this is nothing. It's never the I'm gonna go be a hero.
He likes to do that, absolutely. Yes. But yeah, nightmare scene time.
So there's women sprawled everywhere. Elaine is one of them, up against a wall with her eyes closed.
Yeah, Vannon's description is worse to me.
He's crouched down with blood coming out his nose and ears, and he's trying to pull himself up. The last woman standing runs towards Matt and screams, "Help me," but then a man catches her from behind. He's an ordinary-looking fellow, and he smiles, takes the woman's head, and twists it, breaking her neck.
Yeah, okay, so not gray man ordinary-looking.
Yeah.
Just for,
that
clarification.
Was what I, thought, and then as the scene went on, it was pretty clear this is more than a gray man.
Yes, because with the gray men, the description is always your eyes slide
stabbed,
past.
They die.
And they die. They die, really easy because they are just, normal people.
Yeah.
This dude, not a gray man.
Not normal people.
But, looks like an ordinary person in a lot of senses. Not, supernaturally unordinary.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So now, beyond this scene, Matt can see a small knot of men prying open a door, and I just had to keep reminding myself that they're in a hallway, kind of.
Yeah.
With other doorways.
And just think of it big open apartment in a style, hallway. You can see other stuff. A couple of guys are breaking into a room down there, but he's clearly in a fight with this guy.
Yeah,
so we're not focused on that.
All right. But there's no time for that now.
No.
Now, Matt launches himself at this attacker, and although Matt has seen Myrddraal move, this fellow is quicker and grabs the front of Matt's spear and flings Matt down the hallway.
So super strong.
So Matt pushes himself
5 faces.
I know. He pulls out his dagger, he starts to attack again, and then Nalisian appears at the top of the stairs, and the man slides around Nalisian's attack as if he's like a snake that doesn't have bones.
Right.
And he shoots out his hand, grabs Nalisian's throat, and rips it out.
Yep. So, pour one out for Nalisian.
That is a brutal death.
And, so unexpected. It's not some scenes it's fight, fight, fight. He gets stabbed and then dies. It's nope. Yeah. Dude gets one swing on this crazy guy and then gets his throat ripped out.
Yep.
It's super sad. I don't, he's been around for so long.
No, we like Nalisian.
I know. And now he's just gone, so.
Yeah, so Matt hurls himself at the man. They crash to the floor. Matt stabs the man a bunch of times, but then the man just, twists and rolls out and, pulls the knife out of his side.
Yeah, one of the
while
knives.
smiling.
Yes. So super creepy.
Yeah.
And at this point, just a little subtle side note, this is when the fox head pops out of his shirt.
Right.
We got to get that thing loose a little bit.
Oh,
here.
yeah, we do.
Right.
Yeah, we need that thing.
And it does seem like Matt stuck a few knives in him.
Because there's one still sticking out of his side.
Yeah, and it seems like he pulled one out and still one in the side,
yeah.
So maybe 2 or 3.
So now this guy says he wants you dead as much as he wants her.
Ooh, okay, so who's he?
Samael.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll come back to it then.
Because I was thinking Carradine, but then I was thinking, who did Carradine last interact with? And it was Samael. When it was Matt's here, and it was don't worry about Matt.
Yeah, don't draw attention, don't do anything with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
We'll come back to it. I have more for you.
Okay. And who's her? Elaine?
Yeah, it seems like that, because she's clearly...
Yeah.
Bleeding out, and then there's the scene later where he, goes to try to kill her, finish the job.
Right.
When Elaine starts moving.
Okay. So the man is holding Matt, and Matt thinks... It's like a child fighting a grown man. He literally is not a match for this guy.
This guy, this creature is because I don't know if we should be calling it a man anymore, because it's clearly not just a guy.
He's toying with Matt.
Yeah, he is, and it's in a disturbing way, because he's going and he has Matt by the arms and forces his arms back or whatever, but then goes to crush his head, because this guy's clearly ridiculously supernaturally strong.
Right. Is
so
this the type of guy who rips people's arms apart? Like, a herald fell?
Okay, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Let's come back to it.
What was that, a golem or something?
Let's come back to it.
Because you already told me that that's different than a clay guy.
I want to come back to it. It's
no,
not,
I'm
it's
on
not
a,
a clay
I'm
monster.
on a roll.
Okay.
No, because you told me before that the golems here aren't the clay monsters. They're different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is that this guy?
Okay, there's a very strong possibility.
Because that...
Do you want to just go with this now?
I already feel like I just did.
Okay, so I'm going to read you a little paragraph here.
From what?
Well, sitting in his study, Herod was peering into his pipe and wondering whether he had the means of lighting it at hand when the golem squeezed under the door.
Oh, yeah, like a snake.
Okay, of course, even if Fell had been paying attention, he would not have believed, and once the golem was inside the room, few men would have stood any chance. When Adrian came to Fell's study later, she stared at what it was piled none too neatly on the floor beside the table. It took her a few moments to realize what it was, and when she did, she fainted before she could get a scream out. However many times she heard of someone torn limb from limb, she had never seen it before.
Yeah. Okay, so, that's what this is then.
We've got a golem who can squeeze under a door.
Okay.
Because, what else besides something that's boneless could do that?
Yeah.
And,
and also tear someone apart.
Someone apart supernaturally strong.
Literally ripped Nelician's throat out and wants to crush Matt's head here. Which is interesting because with Elaine and the rest of the women, it seems like he just, threw them to the side.
He just,
it was, almost like they were in his way, so it was get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Matt came sprinting up, so he didn't have time to, finish the job with Elaine, from what it seems.
Right. Okay. So this is where some good stuff happens.
Yeah,
because Matt heaves with the last of his strength, and the fox head medallion falls against the man's cheek.
Yes.
The man screams, and smoke starts rising from around the edges of the medallion, and it sizzles like bacon.
Here we go. So the medallion touching this creature seems to have an effect.
Okay. Now, it's kind of a stretch.
Why?
But this is the shot. This is the reference.
Okay. Wait. No. Nothing.
Nothing? Maybe my reference is bad. I was excited for it.
Okay. Medallion.
Book 1. More along the lines of
hold on. Something.
Skin.
Yeah. Something Harry...
Burning skin.
Burning, but with what? What was he burning it with? His hands?
His hands.
Harry burned the... What's his guy?
Quirrell.
With his hands because...
Love.
Magic.
Magic love. Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's
couldn't touch him.
Okay.
Well, Voldemort couldn't touch Harry, and then Harry was like, got you! And he grabbed his face, and it was sizzling, burning.
Okay. You know what? I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is better than that.
Slightly, I
mean, we have more of a reason why this could possibly work.
Not for me.
Okay, well, let me do my best to convince you that it's better than because love.
Well, love magic. It's a source of magic that we don't really understand, and this Foxhead medallion is a source of magic I don't understand.
Okay.
Yeah. So how's that?
Yeah. No, I like it. It's
sizzling
good enough.
Face.
There we go.
That's the reference.
Yep. It's good. It's good enough. It's good enough for a shot.
Okay, so ready with shots. We can also cheers to Nelician.
Yes, we can. Drink for our boy.
Good dude.
Yep.
Gave us a lot of good protection. And I have a new shot glass.
You do.
This is one that we purchased on our most recent trip together.
Yeah, we did.
To Kelowna, BC. Beautiful. And I got a nice Ogopogo lake monster.
Yeah. He is the lake monster of
the Lake Okanagan.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. Kind of like Loch Ness Monster, but in Canada.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
And I just want to mention, just while we're on the topic of this new, seemingly, new shadow spawn, the Golem, which we've had references to before.
Yeah.
But this is the first time that if this is in fact the correct creature, it's the only unnamed or unknown shadow spawn that is now linked together with an actual thing.
Ooh.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah, and my biggest question is, why weren't just a bunch of these released in the Two Rivers?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean...
Like, if we have these and they're available at our disposal, why are we relying on dummy Trollocs and...
Sure. I mean, these ones seem like really superpowered. So, you can't just have these supercharged ones all over the place. That'd be unfair.
No, but when you're going to get the one who can match
you need the Trollocs, the cannon fodder first. You only
No,
pull...
I'm understanding of, books, and I understand...
If I was the Dark One, I would just send all my shock troops immediately.
Yes, I would.
So, yeah.
Because that's the question here.
Well, and then we wouldn't have a 15-book series.
If we have all these super-powered bad guys, but they don't show up until way later...
Right?
when is the last time we even saw a Trolloc? Do we even get a Trolloc this book?
They don't even matter anymore.
They literally don't matter.
They don't matter. It doesn't matter.
They literally don't matter.
Yeah. We did have one other reference I wanted to point out right now, because Grendel, way back when, was thinking, and in her thought process, she thought about Golem.
Bilal, right?
Nope.
Oh.
Grendel.
No, but Bilal or was it Agenor had a hand in creating them?
Yes. Yeah, so she knows...
Is that what you're going on?
Yeah.
I said Bilal, but I meant Agenor.
Trying to get through this one here.
I know, I'm interrupting you.
To tell you about what actually happened. So Grendel noted that she had an unpleasant and almost fatal encounter with one, and only a madman like Agenor would create something like that.
Got it.
And Agenor is hypothetically...
That's what I was trying to say.
I know. And Agenor is one of the ones that you hypothetically think could now be, reincarnated into one of the new bodies.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah.
Do I think that that's who Halima is? I don't remember.
No, you were pretty sure Halima was Balthamel.
I don't know why.
There were reasons that the other one had a hand in creating the Shadow Spawn.
Okay.
So it kind of makes sense.
It's so far removed
it
from
is.
where we are now, and we haven't really talked about it since.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we had a pretty good hypothesis on that, so...
I believe that you
works.
remember things I said.
Yeah.
Okay. One of us should remember that.
Is Erengar, is Halima.
That's what I think.
That's what we figured out.
Okay.
And that means that Osengar is possibly Agenor.
Or someone else.
The other contenders weren't really, holding up, because there's not really a lot of people it could be.
Right.
Because it had to be a guy.
Yeah.
And Balthamel was a body switch.
Balthamel. That's the one I was trying to say, but I said Bilal.
Yeah. Bilal is dead.
Dead.
Balefire by Moraine. So, gone.
Ishmael, unsure.
Unsure.
Asmodean, unsure.
Less unsure. Dark One was he's gone. He's a traitor.
I know he said that, but I don't really trust anything that guy says.
Fair.
He's a bad guy, Brett.
That's fair.
Don't trust the Dark One.
So anyways.
That's what I always say.
That's
I
where
always
we
say
land.
that.
But
just don't trust him.
Where is Osengar?
Where in the world is Osengar?
Osengar. Get it on. Okay. We need to get back on track here.
We're really, literally in the middle of the action scene.
Yeah.
So the Foxhead medallion hits the guy's face. He screams. Smoke rises from the edge of the medallion. And the man hurls Matt away.
Yeah.
And he flies across the room. And Matt can see a raw red brand mark where the medallion touched the guy's face. And the creature pulls the knife out that's in his side.
Yeah, this is good.
And whips it at Matt, but then Matt instinctively snags it out of the air.
Good for him.
And side note, Tom taught him to juggle and has fast hands.
Yeah, he already had fast hands.
Yeah.
Tom just taught him how to juggle.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he notices there's no blood on the blade, and that's weird.
Yeah, because it's probably not human, man.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay.
So Matt notices the men who are prying at the other door.
No.
Or who were prying at the other door.
The ones who were busting into the room, which is the storeroom.
Yeah.
Are now all leaving.
With a bunch of stuff.
All this stuff.
You know what I
thought?
All
the stuff.
Great. We're here to get the Cloud Bowl.
We were so close. I know you thought
And the
that.
Dark Friends get it.
They got it just in time, and they're all hustling, bustling, arms full. One guy, I think, is carrying maybe a piano. I don't know. It's possible. It's dragging it behind him. No, I'm pretty sure there's a reference to someone carrying a chair.
Yeah. And a broken mirror.
Yeah, all the stuff. And Matt thinks, they must have had orders to take everything. Because this is the funny part. Who was bragging about finding a storeroom of a bunch of cool stuff?
Samuel.
To
Grendel.
But he was like, Grendel. I already found it.
Yeah.
I already found it. Mm-hmm. But then what else did he find?
The golem.
he had a stasis box.
Oh, that the golem was in.
Quite possibly.
That's why it wasn't released
and
earlier.
And then Grendel was like, whoa, maybe he actually really found something. Because in the stasis box, he found that weird chess game that's like human souls. Whoa.
Weird.
And like some light bulbs or whatever.
Wait, was the chess game with human souls a bunch of those things that have Mogedian's soul?
No.
Because that would be
not
neat.
That. Nope.
Like those things could be the pieces
I get what you're saying. It's not that.
Oh.
That's different.
But the golem was in the stasis box.
In the stasis box.
So hypothetically, 2 years ago, we didn't have access to these guys.
Didn't have a stasis box. Didn't even have the Forsaken totally out yet. So yeah,
so
there's
that's
reasons.
why we were relying on Trollocs.
Exactly.
But now we have Forsaken,
and now we
who
have
can do different things.
And we got a golem on the board map now.
One,
so yeah.
And I don't know how they reproduce.
Exactly. Right.
Like snakes.
Sure.
Asexually.
Eggs? That's not how snakes reproduce. I'm pretty sure. I don't know snake biology that well, but I think it's not that. Okay.
I'm going to look that up. Snake facts.
I'm pretty sure it's just they lay eggs. They're reptiles,
okay,
aren't they?
now I have to Google it. Hold on.
No.
Yes, I do. Hold on. Okay, everybody's super dying to hear snake reproduction facts.
Right, because this chapter doesn't even matter, really.
Okay, so the majority of snakes are born from sexual reproduction. A male and a female.
Eggs, stuff.
Making a baby, laying eggs.
Okay.
That kind of thing. However, some known snake species perform asexual reproduction, and this happens when a female is unable to find a male in the wild to fertilize her eggs.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we were both right.
And some of these snakes are the copperheads, water snakes, cottonmouths, and pit vipers.
Awesome. Okay. There we go. So, possibly, with the golem, is the same way.
Possibly.
Who's to say?
Not me. I can't say.
Yeah.
I Googled one thing once.
So, yeah, back to where we were.
Yeah.
These guys, who are clearly on a mission to take everything, they've taken everything that they can carry.
Yeah.
And then they disappear around the corner.
And Matt thinks about an exit strategy and maybe even going after these men, but Vannon is still here trying to get up, and he's thinking about how he needs to help Vannon and how
he can't just leave his guys
and
here.
he also can't just leave Elaine here. He for sure thinks Elaine is dead.
He does, which is fair because she's not moving.
And to be fair, at no point I think Elaine was dead.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair.
Maybe it was intended for me to think that.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
You didn't feel it's the main character plot armor.
No, somebody needs to go take her pulse.
Sure.
And be like, dead.
Right. Now, keep in mind, the golem is still here in the middle of fighting Matt.
That's true.
This is not done yet.
Right, because Matt sees Elaine move, lifting her hand to her head, and the creature sees it too. He smiles, turns toward her, and Matt calls out, "You can't have her," and breaks the leather cord from around his neck and starts whirling it around his head in a big loop.
Yeah.
And starts towards the creature. Now, we know this creature, in my notes I say creature, but this is a golem.
It's a golem. Yeah, from everything we can tell, it is for sure a golem.
Okay, so the golem starts to back away, and it's pretty clear that it does not want to face off against this medallion.
Which actually makes sense, because, keep in mind, this thing isn't affected by channeling.
Yeah, we learned
Clearly
that right
isn't
away.
affected by knives and daggers and stuff.
No.
So it's like this thing has probably taken like 0 damage ever,
Yeah.
and then suddenly comes in contact with something that really freaking hurts it.
Yeah.
So naturally, it's not going to want to have a showdown right
No.
now. Like it's going to run away probably and, come back later.
Yeah, so it darts to one side of the room,
Yeah.
darts into a room, closes the door, Matt charges, boots the door open, but the guy is already gone.
Except he only sees, from the light, he can only see the doorway to get in and out, and then a little rat hole beside a mirror.
That's right.
So it's like, okay, dude who can possibly squeeze under a door
Right.
can also squeeze through rat holes.
For sure. Now, Elaine calls out to Matt, so he goes to her, and she says, "He hit me so hard. Channeling wouldn't touch him. The flows melted the way they do with your ...
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well,
Medallion.
that's probably why the medallion worked, because it's similar magic,
Because
perhaps.
love. Exactly.
Now...
That's why I said
Yeah.
this makes more sense. It's kind of like they may have similar properties, so it's like they don't want to touch each other
Polar.
Yeah.
Polar
Some sort of
something or
weird stuff. Like,
other.
that kind of makes more sense in my brain. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Elaine goes on a bit of a ramble here. I think she's concussed.
Yeah, probably.
She apologizes for everything, goes on a rant about Toe. Matt doesn't really understand any of it, except that she's spending too much time with Avienda.
For sure.
Now, Elaine checks on Rihanna, who's on the ground, and the healing that she needs is beyond Elaine. So she goes, "Where's Nynaeve?
'Cause she
Why
doesn't
didn't
know.
she come up with you?"
Doesn't know about the Black Aja attack below.
Right, and
Okay.
then Nynaeve enters and says, down the stairs, she actually yells,
Yeah.
"You hold her tight, do you hear me?"
I'm gonna...
Yeah, and so putting together what I assume happened in this situation,
Yeah.
the Black Aja lady, was caught
Yep.
and is shielded
Yeah.
and being held by one of the kin.
Yes, so we know which one it is. It's Ispan.
Okay, where's Falion? Did she die?
We don't know.
I hope so.
We don't know.
Hope she's
not really mentioned
no at all.
at all, even
No.
amongst, like, the bodies.
No,
So, like, we don't know.
maybe she ran away. That'd be
Yeah, maybe.
yeah. Maybe she got away.
Possibly. Okay. It's not really clear.
Not
But they have Ispan.
They have Ispan, and now, okay, I was reading this, and there is a name for the woman, the kin
Sumeko.
lady, who is holding the shield of Ispan.
Yeah.
And I looked up
Okay.
at you while I was reading,
Yeah, you did.
and I said, "Hey, remember that kin lady that we met a couple chapters back
Yeah.
who was crazy good at holding shields?
Yes.
No matter her strength level?
Yeah.
Is that who's holding this? Because wouldn't that be a nice little round circle moment?
Yeah, where you get introduced to a character
And then she's useful later.
who is, like, supercharged in one's really specific talent
Yes.
of shielding.
Uh-huh.
And she said, I could even hold one of the Forsaken.
Forsaken.
And it's like, okay,
Cool.
close.
Yeah.
But no,
It's not her. It's
not-
someone else that we've
Yeah.
never met before.
Yeah.
And then that made me frustrated. Like, why are we introducing characters and then, like, never using them?
Yeah, fair. Okay.
I feel like that would have been a nice little plunk. Here you
That-
go.
That's absolutely fair.
In this scene, that would have been really nice. What was that person's name?
That person was
Beowyn. No, that's wrong.
Barrowin.
Barrowyn. Close.
Close, yeah. And
Okay.
for the record, it's not Sumeko who's holding the shield here. I thought you were talking about her because, well, you wouldn't know this, but there's book corrections where Sumeko and Samitsu is actually interchanged accidentally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sumitsu, isn't that the yellow from Rand's chapter?
Yes.
Okay.
So that one and Sumeko get interchanged accidentally in this book at some
Okay,
point.
speaking of weird name corrections, I have to go grab my book.
Okay.
Okay, I forgot that I noted this, but can you turn to chapter 37,
Okay.
page 741? I think we have the same
Yep.
book.
Okay.
So I noted at the end of the first paragraph, they're describing the Rahad and everything that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Rihanna's belt was worked of plain leather,
Spelled incorrectly.
spelled wrong with one N.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And then immediately in the next sentence, her name is spelled differently with two N's.
It seems that way.
And I was like, is this somehow someone else?
Which is totally possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a spelling mistake.
Cool. Okay, I caught that.
Good one.
I was like, who's this? Wait, what's happening?
Yep. Because that's a thing that could happen.
I know.
You could have the same name, but one letter wrong.
Interesting. And I totally forgot to write it in my notes because it was in my first read through. But yeah,
Good catch.
cool. I'm glad that came up because
Yep.
I would have completely passed over it. So, all right. So we have Nynaeve coming in to start checking on the women. One is for sure dead. She heals Elaine. And then Sumeko. Oh, Sumeko's the healer. That's why she's
Yeah,
confused with Sumitsu, the
Yeah,
other healer.
exactly.
And then the one who's holding Ispan is like someone else.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't even matter.
Not even the most powerful, shielder. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter
Whatever.
at all. Wouldn't that
Who
just be
cares?
so
Okay.
convenient to have here?
Okay.
No.
But yeah, Sumeko goes and heals Rihanna and then starts doing, like, apparently some really super complex stuff.
healing. And Nynaeve is like, hey, what are you doing? What's happening?
What's
what are
that?
you doing?
And then she apologizes because she's like, I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to know
She
things
goes,
or whatever.
I just was so interested in learning, so I learned anyway.
And then she learns so good that she knows how to do stuff that Nynaeve doesn't know how to do.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve thinks, Cool.
Great. Get those yellows off my back.
Because she said, I bet some sisters will want to learn from you.
Yeah.
And maybe stop wanting to learn from me.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Nynaeve asks Elaine to go look for the bowl now.
Because maybe there's something left over in that storeroom where all the guys hustled out with all the stuff.
And I think, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
right
you're thinking
here.
we just missed it.
And I still maybe, I don't know. So, anyway, Elaine gets up to go do that, and then that's when one of the wise women come in with Ispan. Ispan is terrified and crying. We don't get any mention of Phalion.
Yeah, nothing here.
Nothing. We don't really get even any mention of how this all went down or what happened down there. We just assume
They won.
They won.
Somehow, so.
Bestling comes in, sees Nalesian, and there's a sad moment.
Yeah.
Now, Matt asks his men what happened over at the back of the building where Nynaeve was like, don't even guard there.
We don't even need to, yeah.
Yeah.
So Harnan, we know Harnan. We've seen him before.
Sure we have.
He
I
was the
totally
one-
remember that.
Yeah, he's one of the guys. He was one of Matt's main guys.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, we walked right into a group of thugs, and there was one of them who moved like a snake.
Yeah.
Matt gets that. He
And then
understands
this
it.
guy got stabbed.
Yeah,
and the
Arden
next
died,
thing he
or
remembers
almost died.
was Nynaeve healing him.
Yeah.
And everyone else was dead.
Yeah, so like he was very close to dying.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then there's a few moments of everyone helping everyone else get up and get their things. We hear Elaine swearing from the other room. And then we get this body count of 2 dead wise women.
Yeah.
6 of Matt's red arms. Is that including Nalesian?
Probably not.
Okay, so that's like downstairs
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nalesian probably wouldn't be lumped in with the red arms count.
Okay. So, and then all of these people were killed by a man that the power can't touch.
Yes. And I want to point out here, there's a sentence that says that Vannon's peering into the room where Elaine is, and apparently she's trying out some more curses, seemingly with no more success than earlier. So it's just like little hints here and there, where Elaine like tries out series of swears that she's picked up.
Yeah.
It's a funny little side tidbit.
It's like so weird.
It's
and
so
random.
subtle and it doesn't matter. It's
It's
just like
so random and dumb.
she's learning cursing.
Okay, Elaine, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Robert Jordan.
Let's get to it. Let's get to the good part here.
Okay, because then Elaine shouts out, she exclaims, I found it! I freaking did it! I found it!
We did it, guys.
She comes in, not holding a bowl of the winds, but holding a bundle of rotten cloth and doesn't let anyone else touch it.
The bull's inside
And
there,
she
totally.
says, I finally have the bowl of the winds. And then Matt says, in that case, let's get out of here. But nobody's like, let me see.
Yeah. Oh, you don't believe her?
I mean, like, she's concussed.
Why would you? She's found a bowl. Oh, man.
It's a salad
No,
bowl.
she's got an affinity for Terangria. Like, she knows what's up. She
I
knows.
know,
She
I'm
she
sure
can do
this is actually it.
But really
I'm
funny.
really sure this is. But
Just imagine.
I'm so disillusioned. I'm so disenchanted by this entire thing.
I love-
Honestly,
I love concussed Elaine walking out with regular bowl, exclaiming, holding it over her head, saying, I found the bowl.
she wasn't holding it. She's clutching it.
This is in my new
She's
funnier
not
version.
letting anyone see it. And they're like, cool, let's go. They're going to leave. And then they'll be like, Elaine.
That's just garbage. Oh my god. I like this funnier version way better.
It's just like, cat.
And you can't be mad at her because she has a concussion.
She's got a concussion. She's got a C word.
Oh man, okay.
Oh, man. Okay, so Matt says, let's get out of here. Nobody argues with him, except that when he says, let's get out of here, he's really referring to all
Literally
of Abu
Abu Dar, let's leave, yeah.
Yeah, and Nynaeve and Elaine gather, like, all the things they can.
Yeah,
and
they literally stockpile everybody. Everybody's carrying stuff.
Everyone's carrying stuff.
Yeah.
Everything that got left behind. They even load up some wise women with things.
Yep.
And Rihanna goes down and finds men to carry the dead back out. It's a whole thing. And then they leave the Rahad. And that's how this chapter ends.
And we did it, guys. We found the Bowl of the Winds.
Maybe.
After an entire book
We'll see.
of looking.
It's been well over a book. If we can go back to the first time that we saw this cloud bowl in Tel'aran'rhiod, I feel like it was even in, like, Fires of Heaven. Like, I feel like it was so long ago.
Yeah, so I found it. It is chapter 13 of Lord of Chaos.
Okay.
So almost
two
books.
2 full books.
Almost 2 books. It's been a while.
And I mean,
been a long journey, guys, but we did it.
Maybe.
We found the Cloud Bowl.
Maybe.
Why would you even say that?
Because of the whole thing. The whole thing.
The whole thing.
I am eager to read on.
Yeah.
We're getting close. We're getting close.
2 more episodes. 3 more chapters.
Cool.
And then we're done. A Crown of Swords.
You know what's going to be so annoying? When I read the next 2 chapters and then have to stop reading.
On the last chapter of the book.
Because honestly, it was really difficult for me to stop reading this time.
Yep.
So...
Yeah.
Let's pick up the pace. Let's get reading. Let's get recording and let's get reading so that I can finish this book.
We'll do it. Okay.
Okay, so before you go and unsuccessfully try out a bunch of new swears, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, Vince Lewick, and Margaret, with music by Audionautics. If you are interested in supporting us and the podcast and also getting some really cool exclusive merch and access to early episodes and bonus episodes, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and us, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, things like that, for all things The Wheel Weaves, you can go to thewheelweavespodcast.com. Please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference. And tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening because this really is part of the pattern now.